Alright, this is John Colo, growingourgreens.com. Today with another exciting episode for him here in Mansfield, Missouri at the festival entrance for the April Tulip Festival here at the Baker Creek Heirloom Seed Company in their Bakersville center here. And you guys can see this is the festival entrance down the hill there. You can see the big huge tent. This is where they have lots of different vendors. They also have a seed selling underneath another tent with the nice displays, as well as I'm going to show you guys what you miss by not coming to this event. Also make sure you click the subscribe button down below so you guys can get notified when my talk and Wendy fans talk. I put it up because we gave an amazing talk on 5 tips for beginners to start a garden, which is what Wendy gave, and I gave 5 tips on to take your garden to the next level. Now, the other thing that's going on right now as I'm talking is that there's like that, lunar solar eclipse thing happening, and everybody's like looking up at the sky. Meanwhile, I'm just filming because it's more important for me. Maybe I'll show you guys the eclipse at some part of the video as it happens on the camera. So anyways, I'm gonna head down, and for me, the vendors are lackluster this year. I really like sellers that sell really unique, uncommon things. And there's not a lot of that. There's lots of arts and crafts kind of things for sale, and cool towels and soaps and all the other kind of things like that. But for me, I'm here about the genetics and the plants and the rare stuff. So really my favorite things are the Baker Creek Heirloom Seed Company, where they're selling their seed packs for $2, normally priced anywhere from $3 to $5, so that's up to a 60% off savings. Number 2, they also have plant starts, which I like more than the seeds because you can take the plant starts home instantly and plant them. I planted like 36 plants that I got here at last year's event that all did amazing. And this year as well, I'll be bringing plants back with me on the airplane so I could get them planted in my garden. So I'm gonna really focus on that, as well as I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys a little facilities tour. They also offer greenhouse tours at this event, so you can see what they're growing in the Baker Creek Seed Company's greenhouses, where one of the farmers will take you guys around on a tour. So I'm going to take you guys on a personal tour, maybe just show you like 2 of the main greenhouses, or 3 that I really liked a lot. Of course, make sure you click the subscribe button because I'll be soon putting up my whole greenhouse tour where I go through every single greenhouse to show you guys what they're exactly growing. So anyways, let's head into the event and share with you guys what you missed. So we're here in the Tulip Festival, and I'm going to show you guys around real quick. First, I want to come up. This is the main information booth where you can check in and sign in. They have a booth that you gotta prepay to come in here. And then this is like a little guide on what's going on here. So you guys can see they got a tulip gardens you can check out. They got restrooms, a speaker tent where I spoke yesterday. Make sure you subscribe down below. Click the bell so you get notified when my videos comes out on that. They got a kids treasure hunt, which is basically a big mound of sand that kids could dig in and find treasures. They got Baker Creek plant sales, which is one of my favorite areas, which you should go to first because they may sell out of some plants. I'll give you guys a tour on what they're doing there. They got a brand new greenhouse that they just put up where they're having the plant sale. They got the Baker Creek restaurant where actually Wendy ate today and she liked the food there, and the chef was really cool. They got an ATM. If you don't bring cash, make sure you bring cash because most people want cash. And then they got a seed store. They got the Baker Creek seed store you could go to where they have the full selection. And then I'm glad this year they have a smaller selection here at the tent so that you don't have to go to the store that's usually jam-packed. They got garden tours, which if you come to the Tulip Festival or any festival here on grounds, you have to go to a garden tour because you're missing out, because most people that come to these events live locally. And then if you go on a garden tour, you can see what is possible, what can be grown in this specific climate zone and area. And for this year, they have a seasonal display, which I'll show you guys. I really like that they have the seasonal display. It really kind of can motivate you on what you could grow and what some of the seeds, once you germinate them and grow them out, will look like. And if they have a shuttle here, so if you're not good at walking, they have a shuttle that'll take you some of the different places. And they have the Opry, so they have 2 stages where they actually have live, like bluegrass style country music to listen to pretty much during the whole day. So I'm gonna take you guys just around to a few of these sections. I can't take you on a greenhouse tour, but I'll take you on I'll show you guys a few greenhouses, but I'm gonna show you guys some of the other areas that I really liked. Of course, they have vendor tents, and they have a lot of vendors set up with different like food trucks and whatnot. This year, for me, as a gardener, I'm here for gardening. You know, there's a lot of cool like knick-knack tents and things, but nothing really for gardening. There's a few sellers with, you know, plant starts for sale, which are basically just, you know, some unique varieties of herbs, maybe some tomatoes and peppers. But for me, it was nothing outside of the ordinary. Maybe the coolest plants I saw here were like elderberry plants you could buy, and then there's like a native plant seller that was selling some native plants. Anyways, I think first up, we're gonna go ahead into the Baker Creek seed shop tent. So there's a lot less lines here at the Baker Creek seed shop tent than at the regular seed store, which I'll also show you guys in a little bit. All right, so we're in the Baker Creek seed shop tent here, which is a new thing they're doing, which I really like because, you know, the seed store gets really impacted. It's really hard to see everything, but here they have everything condensed format. So you could see they got all these tables and tables full of the seeds, and you can see how they're aligned. Each little rack has 4 different varieties, and they're all labeled. So this has the corn, the cosmos, the cowpeas, and the craspadilla seeds. And you know, here in the seeds, on the tables here, they have the majority of the seeds in the store, but not everything. So if you're looking for something super special, you'll still want to go to the store, but these are some of their best sellers, and that you could just come here so you don't have to go to the store. Now, the other cool thing about when you come to one of the Baker Creek events, whether it's the Tulip Festival, the Spring Festival, the Heirloom Expo, or their Harvest Festival they put all their seeds on sale for $2 a pack, which is up to 60% off their normal prices. Some of these seed packs, like some tomatoes, they'll sell for $5 a pack. Many seeds are $3, but then some are $4. So at least you're going to save in general about half off the seeds if you get your butt down to one of these events to, you know, buy all the seeds here. Of course, they also sell some of the other Baker Creek swag, such as the books that Jere and his wife wrote, or also like little hats and shirts. And then the other side of this tent, you guys can see, we'll show you guys a few rows, is they have the seasonal produce display down there with all the cut flowers that are so beautiful with it all named. So if you want to get the seeds for these particular crops, they're located over on this side of the tent. All right, so of course the best day to see the displays is the first day, because everything will be cut fresh and then put out on display for you guys. And what I'll tell you guys is this: if you're gonna come to one of these events, always come in on the first day is best, because that way you have the first crack at all the different you know, live plants, and some may be in limited quantity, as well as the seed packets. Usually this event starts on a Sunday, and then Sunday in the morning was just jam-packed. I've never seen this, it was like the most packed I've ever seen Baker Creek, so I'm so glad people are really into gardening these days. That being said, it was really crowded, so if you don't like crowds, at least wait until the second half of the day, where a lot of people will just come, get what they need, and then leave. And of course, I'm filming on the very last day, just like an hour or two before they close, because I've been busy the entire event, and everything's kind of like not looking super optimal, like a little bit wilty. So, you know, anyways, nonetheless, they show you what you could grow, like some of the different kohlrabis, and they have lots of different leafy greens that you grow. They got, you know, all the different cut flowers that they grew here, all fresh, and picked them so you guys could see what they look like. I'll probably take you guys into a greenhouse in a minute. Of course, they also have nice potted plants and some of the herbs and things, so you can see what they're going to look like when you buy them. I really love some of these flowering kales, or ornamental kales as they're usually called. That being said, all these ornamental kales are perfectly edible, and they're doing some really cool breeding here at Baker Creek. They got some really unique varieties that I saw in the greenhouse. Of course, they got all the marigolds, which are great as companion plants. And of course, I want to remind you guys that marigolds are rich in lutein and zeaxanthin. You should be picking the petals and eating them, or at least minimally putting them into your salads, you know, to add some flavors to your salad, as well as good nutrition. So one of my favorite spinaches, actually, it's a chenopodium spinach, so that's actually related to the real spinach, is the strawberry spinach. So this, actually, think of lamb's quarters. These are like little lamb's quarters leaves, but the strawberry spinach makes these little strawberries to eat. Now, don't tell anybody, because you're probably not supposed to pick them like I'm doing, but you could pick these little strawberries and you could eat them. It's quite good. So it's a really neutral flavor, really seedy. You could always spit out your seeds, because that'll actually cause the plant to grow even more, because these are basically chenopodium seeds surrounded by a nice strawberry fruity flesh. Those seeds you should definitely pick up. Nonetheless, they got other kinds of root vegetables, including the beets, which they're growing this time of year. You can see some of the cool beets they got. I want you guys to include more beets. They're rich in nitric oxide. Of course, they also got parsnips and carrots, as well as, of course, some of the squashes that are good storage squashes they grew last year, and they're still eating. And we got to get a picture of the tulip tower. Although they have a field of tulips, they also have a tulip tower. The tulips are in bloom right now, and that's why this festival is happening, due to the tulips that are in bloom. That being said, I'm not really into tulips because they're not necessarily edible, although maybe they're known as a famine food when there's nothing else to eat. So I pretty much think everything that they're showing here is grown here on the site, which is quite impressive being that we are in Missouri. They grew all the citrus here, and these are actually Sumo tangerines. They could be a little bit riper. They only got about 2,000 Sumo tangerines off their trees this year. I think last year they got 6,000 fruit. Of course, these are in heated greenhouses. These are sold commonly as the Sumo tangerines, which has been trademarked, but this is the Dekopon. And you know, Jere, one of Jere's missions is to make this Dekopon trees available for you guys. I think they sold maybe 100 this year, and hopefully in future years they'll have more and more, so more people could grow their own Dekopon tangerines. These are some of the sweetest with the least acid that simply taste amazing. Of course, they hail from Japan. Of course, they have all different other kinds of kumquats and finger limes and yuzus and Meyer lemons that they grow here as well. And of course, pretty soon they'll be harvesting their loquats, and they also have lots of pineapple guavas and figs and regular guavas and so many different cool trees in their greenhouses here. So you got to make sure you go on a garden tour to see it all. All right, so if you guys come to one of the festivals here at Baker Creek, make sure you go to a garden tour. They have a big sign where the garden tour starts here, and they meet at 11, 12, 1, 3, 4, and 5. And you got to, you know, it's a walking tour, right? So you got to cross long distances and uneven terrain. And so some people might not want to do it, but it's definitely worth it. One of the things that they're offering for free, so you guys can see everything they grow here, and you're being led around by one of the farmers here, so you could ask them all your questions about how they grow the food and the crops that they grow here at Baker Creek. Definitely worth it. All right, so this is the speaker tent where the speakers come on. This is Monday speakers, the second day. They had more speakers on the first day, so always the first day is better to come than the second. Right now it's 4:30, so they got the Baker Creek Gardeners Q&A. So it's going on inside there. I don't want to really disturb them so much, so maybe we'll just show you guys inside real quick, and we'll head out to the next area that I want to share with you guys. But make sure you click that subscribe button, because I'll be putting mine and Wendy's talk, which we gave yesterday, on the 5 tips to for beginners to start a garden, and my 5 tips to take your garden to the next level. You don't want to miss it. Hit subscribe, click the bell so you'll get notified.
Our sets soon up. But we kind of maintain them under that trellis.
All right, so here at Baker Creek, there's gonna be lots of walking, lots of dirt paths, so you know, don't wear your nicest clothes, because the bottom of your jeans are gonna get dusty for sure. But you can see they got all these different booths set up all over, selling, you know, goat milk stuff, you know, and there's a lot of booths with plants, including these over here, and there's a fruit tree seller over there with lots of cool stuff. Somebody even had Jerusalem artichokes, which are my favorite, which actually, if you come here, you should try to find them and grow them, because in my talk yesterday, like 2 people were growing Jerusalem artichokes in the middle of the country. This is a Native American food crop that was grown in America before the white man came, by the Native Americans. And nobody really grows it. It could take over like a weed, which could be good or bad, depending where you plant it. Don't plant it in a raised bed. Nonetheless, aside from all the different sellers that are hanging out around, Baker Creek has an all brand new greenhouse that they're working on. Unfortunately, right now they didn't finish it all, so they just got the roof on there. But underneath, they have all the plants, and in the future, they're gonna have flood tables and be able to sell live plants here on site, which I'm really looking forward to. Today, they have a lot of plants for sale up there at their plant sales. And actually, this is my most favorite part of the entire property today, because I'm all about the plants. Hey, I love seeds. I kind of suck at starting seeds myself. They're a lot cheaper, but you know, there's some plants that you can't start by seed because they are propagated only by cuttings, and that's what you're gonna find for the most part at the plant sales. Rare plants that could be a very good price that you're not gonna find anywhere locally, because Jere goes around and wants to make plants affordable for you guys, and you're not gonna find cheaper prices than this anywhere, trust me, because I've been around. So let's check out the plant sale. All right, so this is the Baker Creek greenhouse area where they're doing the plant sale. They got lots of stuff. They have their own little checkout area here for all the plants sold in this area, and they got all the tables set up. They got a bunch of fruit trees, as well as a bunch of you know, starter plants that you could buy around the edges. They also have some potato tubers and other, you know, like onion crops or shallot crops in the middle. And you know, be honest, this is what's going on here. So mostly Baker Creek sells online, right guys? They sell a lot of live plants online, and they basically grow it and then they sell it out and ship it at the right season, which is usually happening in March. At the end of the March, at some point they stop shipping things out and they have a whole lot of leftover inventory that they now need to sell and get rid of because they're not going to keep these alive over the summer or ship them too late to people where they're not going to be successful. So basically they bring them here and in my opinion, they put them on clearance pricing. This is literally a fraction of the price they would sell these online. So if you want to buy these, some of these you can buy online, they're going to be significantly more expensive. That's why I could really pay to come to one of these events, especially on the first day, so they don't run out and you get exactly what you want. So let's go ahead and check out what they're offering today. So over here they got a bunch of fruit trees. These are mostly apple trees that may be, nectarines, like some special varieties. Wow, 19 bucks for some of these fruit trees, which seems like a really good deal for like a 3-gallon pot. Here's some peaches. But now we're gonna get to the plants that I'm really into. And this is what I want you guys to grow. They won't ship you guys these fruit trees, but they will ship you, you know, these plants here. And actually this is one of the ones they sell online on their website. I was told like it didn't really sell that well, you know, because it says here, this is the Aztec Sweet Herb. And these are really cool. These taste like stevia, but warning, you should not eat these like stevia because they contain a high amounts of camphor that can be quite toxic if we ingest it. That being said, camphor is also like what's in Vicks Vapor Rub. So if you want to make a topical out of this, it would be great, but you don't want to eat it despite the amazing flavor of it. So it didn't really sell that well. I think online they're selling maybe 3 plants for around $20. But check it out here. It's literally $1 a plant. I've never seen this plant this cheap anywhere, all right? Next up, you know, they're gonna sell you little plugs of ginger for $2.50 a plant, right? And I really love growing things from little plant starts. You know, if you are traveling here like I did on the airplane, these are easy to pack with you on the plane and take back, and these will turn into full-size plants and produce you guys ginger. $2.50, right? Here's another one, passion fruit. This is a purple passion fruit. These are $4 little plants ready to go. I mean, if you went to your local nursery, something like this would at least cost you maybe $15 or more, right? Of course, they got pomegranates. This is a standard red variety pomegranate, $4 a plant. They got some mint over here, and then that continues over here with a lot more mint. So this is the double mint plant for $2. We're moving down to the chewing gum mint, $2. Thai mint, $2. Actually, I haven't had Thai mint in a while. Let's go ahead and taste this. Actually, I might have to bring some of that home myself, actually. Now here's the deal with mint, guys. Never, never, never under any circumstances plant raised beds in a garden, plant mint in a garden bed. You know, if you have a large acreage, say plant it in an area that you don't mind having it take over. You know, that's what my grandma did at her farm back in the day. She had just a whole area of peppermint. It was a whole peppermint patch. It was huge. It was just wild peppermint she never trimmed down or did anything with. And as kids, I remember running through the peppermint and just eating it and going crazy in the peppermint. You know, I do recommend growing it in a pot. Keep it controlled, otherwise it just spreads and takes over and you're never gonna regain that space again, trust me. Link down below to my video where I talk about this more, where it actually happened to me. Live by experience. Next up, we got the bellflower. So this is actually an Abutilon plant, the bellflower. This is a cool one. So like, I'm surprised Baker Creek doesn't share that this is edible in a way. You know, while the greens are not edible because this is an Abutilon, and those of you guys that are into, you know, eating edible flowers, you guys know all Abutilons are edible, as is this Abutilon, which is, I think, from Brazil. And the sweetest part of this Abutilon is when it goes to, makes the nectar. So it'll attract the, you know, the pollinators. Hummingbirds will love this. And this is a long flowering. So, you know, if you're like in a zone 9, for example, it could flower from like spring to autumn. So it's like the whole summer it could be flowering, making you guys flowers to attract the beneficials and also for you to eat. It's actually really sweet when you get a taste of that nectar. I'm definitely bringing some of those back. $3 a plant. These are really rare. Of course, for those of you guys that live out here in Missouri, you've always wanted to grow some citrus. This is the citrus you could grow. Many of you guys don't know about this. I've known about this for a long time. I originally saw the flying dragon citrus when I visited the Luther Burbank farm or experimental farm in Sebastopol, California. And I want to show you guys a picture. This is the Flying Dragon citrus, $4 for literally a citrus fruit tree. This is what the fruits look like. That being said, they're not really super edible, but it is cold hardy down to -10. They're from China, and they make a sour, downy fruit that is medicinally beneficial. So you can maybe use it for some zest or something. But $4, man, amazing for, look at this. This citrus plant's over a foot tall. These are really thorny though. Next up, if you guys want to grow figs, you live in this area or the Midwest like Chicago, this is the one you want to get. This is the Chicago hardy fig. This will handle the cold, unlike regular figs, which are more subtropical plants. While the Chicago hardy may die down to the stump, literally, or to the roots, in the wintertime, it'll come back with vigor and produce you a crop before it takes a hiatus for next winter. $10. So another bestseller, because of course Wendy mentioned it in her talk, and then everybody came here and bought them all except for this one that I found hiding in the back. This is the Gynura Procumbens, or longevity spinach. It's an anti-diabetes plant according to some people online. That being said, I love it because it is a perennial plant where I live and gives me perennial leafy greens to eat in a zone 9. Of course, if you're growing it out here, you're gonna have to, take cuttings from it, grows an annual, take cuttings, bring the cuttings inside, root them, keep them alive inside in your winter time, and plant them back out in the spring outside. But you could easily do cuttings. Some of the plants they were selling were super tall. These were selling for only $2. I've never seen Gynura Procumbens cheaper anywhere else in the entire world. All right, so of course they're also selling sweet potato slips here. Once again, they had purple ones and other cooler, really cool sweet potatoes that they already sold out when they shipped them all. But this is kind of their leftovers that they're just kind of get rid of. And these are only $2 a plant, which is amazing for a little slip. Ready to go. I'll probably bring some of these home too. This is the Nancy Hall. It's an heirloom sweet potato with deep roots in the southeastern U.S. for decades. The Nancy Hall has a firm golden flesh, tan skin, while it never grows to gargantuan size of 4 to 8 inch tubers, keep well and deliver superb flavor. Here they got the Seomi. These are a beautiful historic Korean sweet potato. It's firm white flesh, starchier than most sweet potatoes. Is an excellent for sweet potato fries, mashing or making chips. And it's similar to potatoes, makes a great substitute in warm climates where growing potatoes is difficult. It has a beautiful pink skin with purple overtones, earns top marks for high yield and wonderful flavor. Sweet potatoes have been a part of Korean culture for centuries. And of course, I want to encourage you guys, this is a higher starch plant. What does that mean? That means better resistant starch when you cook it and cool it and then eat it. That's the healthiest way to eat your sweet potatoes. If you don't like eating things cold, you could cook it, cool it, and then you reheat it, and then eat it, and you're still gonna get benefits. And actually, if you cool it again, you're gonna get more benefits because it even gets more resistant, and the resistant starch, of course, we can't absorb, but our gut bacteria can. Makes them happy so you can build a healthy human gut microbiome, all right? Of course, they also got the sweet potato Caro Gold. These are the ones I'd buy out of all these three just because they're a deep, richer orange on the inside, a lot more beta carotene, and I guess it was a Clemson University, bred at Clemson University in the 1950s, and it has a high yield and it resists cracking. Of course, if you lived out here also, you'd probably want to plant strawberries, so they got some really cool varieties of strawberries. The first day they did have samples, so you could sample what your strawberries would taste like if you bought them. This is the Panagrula, $2 a plant. They got boysenberries. Come on, guys, berry plants for $3. That's insanity right here. Start off growing a little plug like this. It'll take over your whole area after a while. They also got some old North Sea strawberries. That's a cold hardy variety from Denmark. I don't know where else you could get cold hardy strawberries in the United States from Denmark. To grow them here in an area that's warmer than Denmark for sure. And of course they got some raspberries, but the raspberries they're offering here at Baker Creek are not red, they're actually orange. And I love a unique fruit. Once again, $3 for little raspberry plants. You can't beat it. Raspberries will come back year after year for you, of course, as are the blueberries. Well, but at Baker Creek, blueberries aren't blue, they're actually pink because these are pink lemonade blueberries. And of course, if you just want the regular anthocyanin-rich purple blueberries, they got the Chandlers for $4 a plant as well. I mean, you're not gonna get berry plants any cheaper than this. All right, so also in the greenhouse area, we got Jere's daughter. He's getting her to sell some of the plant starts, but hopefully she earns the money out of this. and she's also selling the baby chicks. And you know, we're here on the last day and they've sold out. She had like 40 different trays of plants and she sold them out except for a few ones that left. And these are all basically Baker Creek heirloom seeds that they started. So they got things like tomatoes and eggplants, zucchinis, and they're even selling some little chickens and baby chicks and ducks in here, which are quite cute. All right, so actually they moved the longevity spinach over to here. They also have the Edgar's baby dragon fruit plant, but you know, growing these in Missouri is gonna be kind of fun. You gotta grow them inside or protect them for sure. Even in Las Vegas, they could be iffy, but I mean, $4 for baby, basically purple flesh or red flesh dragon fruit is an amazing deal. And these are quite tiny. These are thorny as heck. I wouldn't want to buy these myself. But my favorite is the hibiscus Chief Kubu's prize. They call it hibiscus. Technically, I would call it the hibiscus manihot or Bele, or look up salad tree. I have a video. This is one of my favorite plants in the entire world. You know, and here's the thing, guys. I took a whole flat of these back last year, as I am this year. I grow this as an annual in a zone 9. In a zone 9, they're not even going to overwinter. Maybe if you're in Southern California, zone 9, but in a Las Vegas, zone 9, they say these are hardy down to like 40 on the internet. That's not true. Every year I've done it, I lose 100%. This year I took cuttings and was able to keep them alive. But this is one of my favorite crops because in the summertime, I have so many different greens. I harvest the big ones, I cut them, and actually I cut the stems and I steam the stems. And the stems are kind of like noodles at that point. If you steam them enough, the greens I just chop up and eat as my major green I eat, really rich in minerals. And then also the baby leaves, the center growth tips I pick as fresh greens, eat as a salad. And these maybe from this size last year, they grew like 8 feet tall in my garden in Las Vegas, over 83 days of 100+ degrees. This is my main dominant green I was eating last year, as it will be this year, all because Baker Creek sold these at $2 a plant start, which is insane. If you guys try to find these online, I mean, they're maybe like $12 each plus shipping, like that. But so I'm so glad that Baker Creek makes these available for cheap here at their event. That being said, if you're not able to come to the event, of course, you know, visit their website, and around January or February, they'll have the plants for sale, and they'll ship them for free. They definitely won't be $2, but they're gonna be maybe 20 bucks for 3 or so, but include shipping, which is an amazing deal as it is. So you guys can grow one of my favorite greens that will tolerate the heat. Very important. As the climate's warm, we need to find different crops that are gonna do well with the warming climate, and I've time proven that this crop can handle the heat of Vegas over 100 degrees, 83 days easily. Just make sure you give it enough water. Also here in the plant area, besides the plants, they also have tubers and bulbs. So this is where they have all the potato tubers. Of course, like I said, Baker Creek smart. They don't want food or the crops going to waste, so that's why they bring them here and sell them literally just to get rid of them, give you guys the best deal on some rare stuff, but also get rid of their inventory. So, I mean, online, these were $17 a bag for these potatoes. These are 10 tubers. These are basically micro starts, which will turn into full-size plants. These are easy to ship. Normally 17 bucks. They're now just 5 bucks. My favorite variety is right here. Of course, my favorite variety, and the one that looks like selling the most, is the Adirondack Blue, because look at this, on the inside they're actually purple. So purple potatoes will positively affect your blood sugar. So when you eat potatoes like russets, your blood sugar will go up. If you eat purple potatoes, your blood sugar will actually go the other direction down. It's amazing, right? The power of the purple and the anthocyanins. Most people don't even know this, right? Yes, they're not as sweet, but that's a good thing, right? So these are my favorite potatoes. 5 bucks a bag here. And of course, they even got a better deal. Last year they also had garlic, but every year is a little bit different. But the best deal is actually on the shallots. And actually, I want you guys to grow some shallots, especially if you come here, because you're not gonna get shallots any cheaper than this. So let me show you guys the amazing deal. All right, so the best deal here in this tuber bulb section are the shallots, guys. Check it out, it's $1 per bag. So they give you the bag, you can take the bag and you could like scoop them up. Now, yeah, some of these shallots are a bit old. I'm definitely not gonna say they're all prime condition, but you wanna try to scoop out some that look good. And then say you like, okay, you're like, I got a bag, I'm good. Nope, that's not a John Kohler bag. You gotta shake the bag down, and what you're gonna do is this. You're gonna overflow the bag, look at this. Now, this is 1 bag of shallots, just $1, guys. Not gonna beat this price. Now here's a ticket. If you want more shallots, you could be like, pick out all the small ones that look exactly good and put them in. Of course, if you get the bigger ones, you know, you might be growing bigger shallots in the get-go, but you want to hand select each one to make sure you don't get bad ones. But yeah, $1 for the bag. Of course, next year's price may vary. They have an extra bundle of shallots, so they're offering for cheap, and I'm surprised that like people didn't buy these out. Like, this is such an amazing deal. Even if you've never grown shallots, at $1 a bag, you should be growing shallots. What most people don't know, that I know, is that shallots are even more nutritious than onions or garlic. They're higher in antioxidants, and you don't want to just eat the shallot bulbs, you want to actually eat the shallot greens. So thanks for watching me, so you guys get all these tidbits information that you're not going to hear on other channels, because I go deep in the research to find out the healthiest crops to eat that are going to perform well in my garden and the best ways to grow them, which is what you're going to learn in my talk that's coming up real soon. All right, so now we're here in Bakersville, which is the center square of the Baker Creek Seed Company's little town, quote unquote. This is their restaurant. They got a little mercantile, they got an apothecary, they got a flour mill, which is actually a bakery. They got people set up with little booths there. They got a big herb shop and like clothing barn thing. They got the Opry, which is actually the music stage. And of course, they got the Baker Creek seed store that we're gonna go into right now. Of course, in this little courtyard here. Last year, this is where they had all the tulips. This year, they actually got all pansies, which I love even more because the pansies are all edible. All these flowers you guys see, they grew on site with their seeds, many varieties of pansies, and they are all edible. I encourage you guys to eat some pansies. They're one of my favorite delicious flowers that actually taste quite sweet. And here's a pansy tip. You want to take a date, take out the pit, stuff it with some pansy flowers, and then eat it. The date will give you the sweet, the pansy flower will give you the candy-like flavor, right? Reminds me of like a Brock's candy that I used to have as a kid. It's amazing. Anyways, let's head in the seed store and show you guys around real quick. All right, so the first thing I want to let you guys know, if you guys do come to Baker Creek for one of the events, and the best one for this specific secret is the first one of the year, which happens in April, right? In April, they've sold a lot of products. You know, they've sent a lot of free catalogs out, which you can actually pick up right here. This is their free standard catalog that you guys could order online. So if you don't come here, I'll put a link down below so you guys can get their free catalog sent to you and get put on their mailing list, so you get this basically magazine style catalog free. And this catalog is amazing. It's one of the most amazing seed catalogs. I know the photographers, I've met them, and they produce all these pictures that just make the plants pop, make it look amazing. You know, in some cases, I think Baker Creek's not in the seed business, they're actually in the photo business, because the better the photos look, the more seeds you're gonna buy. That's a ticket, right? But here's the thing, while these catalogs are free, and you should sign up down below if you haven't already, the cool thing is when you come to this event, right, they will also give you their 2024 whole seed catalog. And we're gonna go ahead and tear into this because I wanna show you guys this. This whole seed catalog normally sells for $14.95 that you'd have to buy online. But if you come here, you get one free. And I'm surprised everybody that comes to this should be picking up one of these, but they're just walking by them because they're just free. But this is the expanded catalog. So look at the difference in this, guys. It's 3 times thicker than their other one. What does this have? Well, this has basically more pictures for every different seed. And then also this has recipes like for cake. This has articles. This has more stories about this different seeds, how they came to be, larger pictures, a lot more pictures of Jere's kids in there. I mean, this is so much more amazing with different, oh, here's a nasturtium green goddess dressing using scallions and the nasturtium leaves. That's a really healthy recipe, guys. But yeah, lots of articles. You'll learn a lot more about the history of petunias. I mean, the history of this zucchini, like so many different things to, like, you know, kind of connect you more with the seeds and the crops you're gonna grow, and even more importantly, how to use them. So, I mean, yes, I mean, even if you're into plants, you should just buy this catalog from the get-go. Every year they offer it, because every year I always look forward to seeing all the articles and information. Plus, this is a great coffee table book, literally, to have to get people inspired about growing. If you're a doctor, have a doctor's office, you should put this in your doctor's office, because people sitting there waiting will start reading this, and then they'll get fascinated by all the amazing genetic diversity that is available that you could get from Baker Creek that's out there, right? This is not something special. I mean, Jere's traveled the world. He has people travel the world to get some of these rare seeds. I met one of the guys actually just a minute ago when we were eating lunch, that has found seeds from all over super rare aubergines or eggplants and all the different colorful flowers and plants he gets from Asia and the breeding programs he does here. So yeah, get the whole free seed catalog if you come. Don't forget, of course, if you're not coming to one of these events, you got to buy this for $14.95. All right, so let's head into the seed store. So I mean, here's the thing, guys. There's two times are the best times to come to the seed store, right? Early on the first day when they're fully stocked up, right? Because you got the full selection, but it's going to be crowded on the first day. The first few hours is the most crowded. There probably is a line to come and get in here. The second best time to come is the last day. So I'm here on the last day. I mean, they're gonna probably close in 30 minutes or an hour. Maybe they're gonna kick me out right now. But there's less than 10 people in here. And now I have almost the whole seed store to myself without all the people, which is really nice. And you could just see all the selection. And there's a few things that they sold out of, but pretty much it looks like to me they have like 98% stock still in here. And once again, the cool thing about coming to one of these events is that, these seed packets vary in price. If you have the catalog, you got to order online. Seed packets could be from $3 to $5. But at one of these events, every seed packet is just $2. So that's amazing. Even those priced less than $2 or $2. So some may cost you a bit more, but most of them are usually priced more than $2. And they're only going to be $2. So they have the largest selection of different kinds of vegetable seeds, flower seeds, herb seeds, rare genetics all over the world. You're literally not going to find in one place anywhere else. They have over 1,000 varieties, easily, even more. I don't even count how many they have these days, 1,500, some crazy, stupid amount. And I can't spend a lot of time in here because I got more parts of this tour I want to give you. But if you guys want to know my favorite seeds in the seed store, I did a video I think last year where I share my favorite seeds. So I'll put the link down below in the description, as well as pinned to the first comment with all the timestamps, so you guys can find my favorite seeds in the seed store. Of course, in the seed store, I guarantee you're gonna find something you're not growing. All right, so now what I wanna do for you guys is give you guys a literally mini greenhouse tour. I'll probably only show you guys 2 of them. They have 30 greenhouses here. If you go on a tour, you'll see many of them, not all of them. And these are the secondary set of greenhouses. The first ones kind of have some of the tropical crops, even citrus trees that I showed you guys the fruits from earlier. But these are the ones, this is the Wapini. So this thing is huge. It's like the size of a football field, and it's basically dug into the ground on one side and open on the other side for the sun. Make sure you click the subscribe button down below, because up next I'll have my full greenhouse tour where I go over to basically, I think I went into every single greenhouse and share my favorite crops they grew in every single one. But I'm just gonna show you guys a few greenhouses and what they're growing right now inside. All right, so you guys can see the side wall of this Wapini, and it is huge. Now, the first thing I will tell you guys is that, they have structured greenhouse tours. If you guys want to see inside these, you guys need to go on a tour. I got special permission from Jere, because actually we went on a special private tour earlier with him, to go in, to film for you guys, to show you guys what you missed, so that hopefully you guys come out next year and actually will come on a tour. You can't just walk around the property and go into the greenhouses. That is not allowed. Anyways, we're gonna go ahead and open it up and show you guys what's inside. This is actually uber impressive. I need this in my house. So what's going on inside here is they have one wall, which to me looks quite bowed. I'm not a structural engineer, although I was assured that this is safe. Although the wood is quite bulging out because they packed the dirt in there. It bulged out when they packed the dirt in there, and now they said the dirt is hardened like concrete, so it's not going anywhere. I don't know, but if you come on the tour, I would stay a little bit farther away from the wall. But on this side, you guys can see it just goes down and down and down like forever, like literally, and they got all kinds of stuff growing. They grow year round here at Baker Creek, and really, if you guys want to grow year round and you are in the middle of the country, put up a Wapini or put up some hoop houses like we're going to show you in a little bit. You could heat them or not heat them. That'll significantly change your climate zone, right? Here they have all stock flowers, which are related to the brassica plants. You can actually eat all the flowers. They're quite edible. and they're quite nutritious for you. But we're gonna go down even deeper to show you guys some other cool greens that they now are growing. All right, so we're here in the Wapini, and you guys can see they got their lettuce, and it's so warm in this Wapini that some of the lettuce is already bolting. This is actually called the Lunix, L-U-N-I-X lettuce. I love it because it is red, and even if your lettuce is bolting, doesn't mean you gotta throw it away. It's still quite edible. Now it will be stronger tasting, but it's still quite good. Definitely good lettuce, and while your lettuce is bolting, you can still plant your tomato plants in place. So look at this. They got a tomato plant planted between the lettuce rows, coming up the middle, even though this is not quite done yet, right? They got the tomato growing, so this is like interplanting. And when the lettuce is done, they can just clip it at the base, leave the roots in the ground to rot in place. It'll actually feed nutrition to the tomato, create earthworms and more soil life. Meanwhile, you'll be able to eat all the amazing lettuce from your lettuce plants as your tomatoes are getting bigger. So now I'm here sitting amongst the calendulas, and this whole Wapini is amazing. There's just so much greenery going on. I love it that I'm here in the middle of the country in April, and all these flowers are in bloom. I don't even think my calendulas are this big right now, but this is the accordion orange calendula. They're looking amazing, and I want to encourage you guys, right, on your calendulas, you could just pick the petals off, right, just like this. And if you get married, you could toss them at people. But if you're not getting married, then you can pick all the petals off. You could sprinkle them on a salad or just pick them and eat them. I mean, they have a really neutral flavor. They're rich in carotenoids, zeaxanthin, and lutein, good for your pigments of your eyes. Of course, you could also eat the little bulbs at the end, which are full of pollen. So instead of letting the bees collect your pollen, you could eat the pollen yourself directly. This is actually a tad bit sweet. I would say it's a savory flavor. It's not bitter or anything. It's quite neutral, quite agreeable. It's a little bit stronger than the petals, but they both taste so good. So start eating your calendula, guys, because most people don't. All right, so you guys can see we're here in Greenhouse Row at Baker Creek. There's 9 of these big hoop houses all in line. These are all heated greenhouses, so they can grow crops year round here in the middle of the country. This effectively gives them climate like Southern California year round, which is amazing. Of course, this is all a business write-off also because they do a lot of seed breeding programs and trials, germination testing to make sure their seeds actually work, to find out what they're gonna get. So we're gonna go into one of them to show you guys around real quick. All right, so this is my favorite hoop house they have at Baker Creek, and I want you guys to have something like this at your place so you can grow in the winter like they are here. They got different kinds of kales, mizuna, mustard greens, lots of lettuces. They got celery, they got parsley, all kinds of different greens. Oh, the mosh, which I love a lot, you guys should know about. It's like a green poplar in Europe, not so popular here. The plant stays smaller, more compact, but it's not a lot of greens. You get a lot more value of growing something like lettuce. And let me go ahead and show you guys my favorite lettuce they're growing in this house. So over here we got the devil's ear lettuce. Yes, that is the variety name. If the devil's got your tongue, you could eat the devil's ear by growing this lettuce, picking at it, and now we're gonna eat a devil's ear. Sweet and delicious. I like eating devil's ear lettuce. I don't know where they make up these names from. These look like devil's ear to me, no, but it's a flashy name with nice red hues and actually a really sweet flavor. So in my book, it's a winner despite the name. One of the things I love about being in the Baker Creek greenhouse is that I could learn a lot by observing nature and seeing what they are doing. So if you guys come to their greenhouses, you should also observe nature, see what they're doing, so that you could learn, you know, some of the different techniques that may work better for you. So for example, I'm gonna show you guys all the different spinaches they planted and show you guys which one I would grow and why. Number one, they're growing the perpetual spinach, which is actually a spinach chard, which is really nice. They say this grows year round. That being said, to me, it tastes more like chard than spinach. But we're gonna go ahead and harvest one, a little baby one, to see how much it tastes like spinach for you guys. I mean, I get a little spinach, but I get mostly chard, so definitely it's a spinach chard, not perpetual spinach. Next up, we got the Hoyo spinach. As you guys can see here in the greenhouse where it's quite warm, maybe the fans kick on at 80 or something, it's already flowering. So Hoyo, thumbs down for me, because I live in Vegas where it heats up really fast, and you don't want spinach that flowers too quick because the production drops to like nothing when it goes to flower, because the plant is putting all its energy to make the flowers and the seeds, not the leaves, which is the part we want. That being said, you can eat the spinach flowers, you know, these little bud here. Perfectly edible, kind of grainy, tastes more like a grain to me. And if you're gonna harvest them young, don't harvest them when they're too old. It tastes not good. Next up, they got the spinach shumi. As you guys can see, the shumi spinach is even flowering even more hardcore than the last one. You guys can see this is in a more mature stage. And look at this, you can see the pollen coming out. We can collect all the pollen in my hand. You can eat the pollen, it's quite grainy, not too good. Next up, we got the red root spinach, Tussin Russian. And you can't see the root, but I see the root is red. Also going to seed. But my favorite spinach are growing here at Baker Creek because in this greenhouse it's a little bit warmer, right? All the spinach varieties they grew is Bolton, except for the last one, which I would imagine is planted all at the same time. The Yamamoto spinach. This is the Tohoku. Look at this spinach, guys. It's not even Bolton. These leaves are huge. Look at these nice big spinach leaves, guys. This is the winner, Yamamoto spinach. Even tastes delicious. Bolt resistant according to this one test, this one time in their greenhouse. So that brings me to the end of the April Tulip Festival, Spring Festival here at Baker Creek. I've enjoyed my time here for sure. And be sure to click the subscribe button down below. Make sure you click the bell because I'll be visiting the Baker Creek warehouse and filming there as well to show you guys how fast they could actually ship your orders and why they're faster than other seed companies in the industry shipping you guys orders because of their patented packing line that picks your orders almost automatically and gets them out to you very quickly. If you guys want to learn more about Baker Creek heirloom seeds, you can check them out at rareseeds.com. I've definitely had a fun time and encourage you guys to come out to the different Baker Creek events, where there's the April event, the May event, the event in Heirloom Expo in Ventura in September, or their other harvest event that they have here in Mansfield, Missouri. Always a fun time, and of course, you're gonna get the good deals on the plants or seeds or whatever they have available at that time as well. If you guys enjoyed this episode, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Also be sure to share the video with others that didn't get to watch this or don't know about this amazing resource here in Mansfield, Missouri that you guys can come out to 3 times a year to have some fun, community, and get some good deals. Also be sure to click that subscribe button right down below so you don't miss out on new upcoming episodes that are coming out every 5 to 7 days. You don't know where to show up or what you'll be learning on my channel. Make sure you click the little bell so you get notified as many videos come out. And finally, be sure to check my past episodes. Past episodes are a wealth of knowledge. Over 1,700 episodes at this time on this channel dedicated to teach you guys all about how to grow your own food. Links down below some of the videos I've made in the past here at Baker Creek, where I go more in depth about what they're doing here and the seeds that they offer. So with that, my name is John Kohler with growingyourgreens.com. We'll see you next time. And until then, remember, keep on growing.